Big silver and gold news out of Florida, where the state CFO has initiated a major study to examine using gold and silver as legal tender in Florida. The reason why we want to pay attention to this are several fold. Number one, Florida is one of the biggest economies in the United States of America. Number two, as a silver and gold stacker, we want to see this legislation move forward in more and more states. And Florida, as one of the most innovative states in the United States, could help pave the way for gold and silver in more states, possibly your state, to be used as legal tender. It will only further the cause of gold and silver. It will only further the cause of real money. Let's dig into this article and see what's happening right now in Florida, because there's a lot to talk about. Florida CFO Jimmy Patronis initiates a study on gold and silver as legal tender in Florida. There's our friend Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy. From Tallahassee, Florida, the Florida Chief Financial Officer, Jimmy Patronis, announced the launch of a study to assess whether gold and silver bullion could be used as legal tender in the state. In green, currently, the metals are only available for investment in Florida, not for purchasing goods and services. Quote, this is an exciting initiative that has the potential for enormous growth in our state, Patronis said. Gold and silver have been trusted assets for thousands of years, and it makes perfect sense to use them as legal tender. Here we have the CFO of Florida recognizing that gold and silver have been trusted assets for thousands of years. Not just that, Jimmy, but they've been trusted everywhere on every square inch of planet Earth. He said, I'm launching this study to determine the best way to get it done. The study, managed by the Florida Department of Financial Services under Patronis oversight, aims to assess how physical gold and silver in forms such as bars, ingots, and coins could function as currency. This move could offer Floridians an alternative to the Federal Reserve notes, pledging a hedge against inflation and potential devaluation of the U.S. dollar, according to Patronis' office. Patronis emphasized the potential benefits of using gold and silver as currency, noting their value tends to rise when the dollar's value declines. And we know since 1971, when President Nixon temporarily took us off the gold standard, that the dollar's value has declined by 98% plus against the value of gold. That makes them a potential hedge against inflation. He also suggested making the metals legal tender could create competition with a future central bank digital currency, or CBDC, and help protect against financial practices like debanking, where Americans are excluded from the financial system for political reasons. In yellow, he says, I've also included in the framework of the study that gold and silver cannot be taxed as property for the purpose of using them as money. Again, this whole idea of a capital gains tax on gold and silver is absolutely absurd. That'd be like you paying a tax if you went to your bank and wanted to break a $100 bill into 5 $20 bills. In red, families and businesses don't need higher taxes. They need innovative solutions to help them grow. This proposal not only does that, but it would also result in protections against monetary failures and abuses, like the Biden-Harris inflation nightmare and a tax on Floridians' financial freedoms. In green, key tax exemptions proposed by Patronis include gold and silver will not be considered personal property for state taxation. Gold and silver are money, and the Florida CFO is recognizing this. Transactions involving the purchase or sale of bullion will not incur a state tax liability. No sales tax, period, on silver and gold. And exchanges between forms of legal tender will also be free from state tax liability. The study will also examine more practical details, including the regulatory changes required to make gold and silver usable in Florida. It will explore private efforts to create electronic currencies backed by physical metals. We have these sprouting up everywhere. Asset-backed digital currencies, right? Tokenized gold, but the critical thing is that it's regulated and audited and 100% backed by real gold and real physical silver. Assess the feasibility of using these metals to pay for state and local taxes, fees, and debts, and review examples of using gold and silver as a currency in the United States, including state-specific applications. Hey guys, if you want to get your hands on some gold or silver right now, please check out channel sponsor Pimbex. You'll find they have a great selection of silver, gold, platinum group metals, anything you could be looking for. They've got unbeatable, ultra competitive prices. Shop around, find out for yourself. And most importantly, it's a company you can trust. So whether you're joining us from Florida, where we're getting some incredible good news about what to expect, Florida's massive, guys. That's why we want to pay attention. And as this wave of legal tender gold and silver legislation continues to sweep the United States, it will only be a good thing for those of us who've already taken steps to protect ourselves by making investments into precious metals. We'll keep a close eye on what's going on in Florida. I'll be keeping a close eye on you. Thank you for joining me today here in the basement. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.